Have you ever wondered what would happen if your favorite action stars and martial artists came to fight each other? Well, in today's video, we will be talking about Wesley Snipes and Tony Jaa, and what could possibly happen when the two enter into a duel. Now, let's get into it. Who's going to dominate the fight? Who's getting the short end of the stick? Well, we'll find out soon enough. For now, let's start with Wesley Snipes. Snipes' full name is Wesley Trent Snipes, and he was born to Marion and Wesley Snipes on July 31st, 1962. He has starred in several action films over the past few decades. Before all this success, though, Snipes had a rather humble beginning in life. His childhood years were spent in the Bronx, New York City. He later on attended the Fiorello H. LaGuardia High School of Music and Art and Performing, a performing arts school attended by other popular artists like Jennifer Aniston and Lorraine Toussaint. Snipes eventually moved to Florida and again back to New York. In between, he started working on his martial arts skills. At just 12 years old, Snipes had already taken interest in martial arts, which he quickly trained. He quickly improved his kicks and punches. All these earned him a black belt in Shotokan karate, and not just any black belt. He has a 5th degree black belt for this. If you don't know, Shotokan is one of the 4 major styles of karate. Each one has its own focus and pace. For Shotokan karate, it focuses on long-range stances and techniques, so it's no surprise that the man has a solid foundation when it comes to these moves and stunts in his movies. As if this wasn't enough, Snipes also has a 2nd degree black belt in Hapkido. Yep, another black belt to his collection. This time, it's a martial art with Korean origins. Focusing on self-defense, Hapkido uses different kinds of techniques. This includes the usual kicks, punches, and strikes. To add to that, it also uses a lot of grappling and locking techniques that are sure to knock out any attacker. Unlike karate, Hapkido may also use some weapons like knives and swords, so if you've seen Snipes' movies, you can easily understand how he did these roles perfectly. If you think those two martial arts were the end of the list, you're in for more surprises, because Wesley Snipes' training background is quite a long one. Snipes is pretty versatile in his styles, as he also draws influence from Brazilian forms of martial arts like capoeira and jiu-jitsu. For capoeira, he was trained by no other than Hilon Vieira, who is known for bringing capoeira to the United States. His kicks were also further improved by his training in kickboxing. To top all these off, he has also received kung fu training at the US Shaolin Temple. Your martial arts training wouldn't really be complete without some kind of kung fu, right? With this extensive background in the world of martial arts, his career in hindsight is really no surprise. You could easily say he was made for it. His solid foundation in fighting techniques alone is enough proof he can star and act in any action film without breaking a sweat. With his experience in fighting opponents, there probably won't even be a need for stunt doubles. True enough, at 23 years old with a lot of skills to show for it, his talent would eventually be discovered by a talent agent while he was in a competition. It didn't take long for Snipes to hit the screens. He appeared in his debut film Wildcats in 1986. A few months later, he would also appear for the first time on a TV show episode for Miami Vice. A year later, Snipes would be featured in Michael Jackson's music video for Bad as the pop star's enemy. This music video appearance eventually attracted the attention of Spike Lee, a successful and established film producer and director. Snipes was later given roles in Lee's Mo Better Blues and Jungle Fever. Since then, Snipes has appeared in several action movies like Passenger 57, Demolition Man, Rising Sun, and more. His biggest role came in 1998 when he was given the lead role of Blade in what would eventually be the Blade trilogy, based on Marvel's comic superhero Blade. The first film alone was a massive success that a trilogy was granted in the following years. Now that you know all about Wesley Snipes' background and training in martial arts, his superhero and action roles become much more fitting and obvious. The question that remains now is, can Tony Jaa live up to this? Stay tuned as we figure it out soon enough. Tony Jaa, or more completely, Tachokam Yiram, is another extremely talented and skilled actor and stuntman. On February 5, 1976, he was born to parents who were part of the Kui, an ethnic group in Thailand. He grew up in the country's Surin province, where his parents trained elephants. Like Wesley Snipes, he is a martial artist and has starred in several Thai and international international films. Before all that success, Jaa also lived a simple life in Surin. Like most kids, he was fond of watching television shows and movies, especially those that starred Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, and Jet Li. The young Jaa was amazed by the skills and moves of these three action stars, so much that he wanted to be like them too. In fact, in an interview he did back in 2004, Tony Jaa described their fighting skills to be a thing of beauty. His three idols inspired the young boy to start training in martial arts. At just 10 years old, Jaa took his first steps in the world of martial arts by training in Muay Thai, a popular sport among the Thai people. Since he lived in rural parts of Thailand, his training ground was the surrounding nature itself. He had the whole of his father's rice field to himself as his gym. Here he practiced for hours every day to master every technique and movement. Sometimes he would train at the local temple school. He had one goal in mind: to do it the way his idols did. At 15 years old, the teenage Tony would be under the supervision and training of Thailand's well-known stuntman and martial arts choreographer Panna Ridikrai. Panna had founded a stunt team, Muay Thai Stunt, which gave Jaa exactly what he needed to excel and succeed in the world of action films. Since Panna was very experienced in making these films, he taught Jaa everything. Soon enough, Jaa was considered to be Panna's protege. Panna also advised Jaa to study further by taking physical education in Maha Sarakam. Jaa took this advice and got a free ticket to study at the college. He managed to get a scholarship and was able to utilize this time to train in other kinds of martial arts. Here, he was able to practice, learn, and train Muay Boran, Wushu, Judo, and Taekwondo. Muay Boran is basically the origin of Muay Thai. It's a more deadly variation and literally translates to ancient boxing. Wushu is often viewed as the same as Kung Fu. Some say it's a modernized version of Kung Fu. Either way, you can be assured that it's full of kicks and punches. Judo is Japanese martial arts that focuses on throwing an opponent and locking them down until they submit or can no longer move. Lastly, Taekwondo is Korean in origin and focuses on kicks and a lot of discipline. Jaa was able to study all these in college, which eventually earned him a bachelor's degree. That said, Tony Jaa is also a great martial artist with a solid background and skills in fighting techniques. Similar to Wesley Snipes, Jaa is exactly the man you need for the kinds of movie roles that need the actor to fight and do their own stunts. In fact, while being trained by Panna, he also did a few stunts for him. During these appearances, he was able to hone his skills in doing all kinds of action film stunts that would be another feather in his cap. True enough, Jaa was noticed and landed stunt jobs outside Panna's work. At this point, you can really say that Jaa was ready for the real world. He worked as the stunt double in Mortal Kombat, Annihilation for Robin Shou and James Remar. He also attracted the attention of Prachya Pinkau, one of Thailand's best producers and directors. As a result, Tony Jaa received a lead role in Ong Bak, the Thai warrior. This film gave Jaa international attention and would pave the way for his future films. His biggest international film yet is Fast and Furious 7, which he starred with the franchise's popular movie stars, including Vin Diesel. Since Tony Jaa's first appearance on the screens of Thailand, he has already been part of many movies, both local and international, as an action star. What makes the man unique is that he doesn't rely on stunt doubles. After years spent working as a stuntman, he surely doesn't need one for himself. So, who do you think is the better fighter and action star between Wesley Snipes and Tony Jaa? Well, Wesley Snipes has multiple black belts and experience as a martial artist. He has acted in several blockbuster movies as an action star. Wesley Snipes and Tony Jaa both have their strengths. So, who between the two do you think will win a fight? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this episode, like this video and share it with your friends and family. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. You may also want to check out our other videos. Stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching.